So, we found ourselves in the trapped room on the thin layer of whatever it was, with Gargantius slowly cracking his way in, and Tabarin having lost his access to magic and panicking perhaps more than Gargantius was, and insisting that the only way out of the situation was for Gargantius to grab something that only he could see in the vast frozen pile of vileness where we found ourselves. And in spite of the fact that I tried to explain to everyone how insane that was, that is exactly what they did, and much to my dismay, it worked. Gargantius grabbed whatever it was, and everything went back to normal. We were able to find a switch on the pillar and get through that, out of that room. It opened us up to a large part of the dungeon, and where we went around and found a number of doors with no obvious way to open them, as well as a couple of pillars just like the one that we had just interacted with. In the one room that we could open the door to, there was a pool with a maelstrom in it, and we caught another glimpse of one of those, whatever these mysterious orbs are. We explored the rest of the dungeon. In one corner there's piled up earth from a cave-in, and a small orb that only I could see appeared there. But I'm not ready for that. I will never have been ready for that. So I did my best to hit the switches into the orbs without breaking the orbs and causing whatever madness that would cause, and it seemed maybe to have worked. But we didn't hear any immediate reactions. When we went and started interacting with the pool, we were able to hear Din's voice, and Gargantius, being his normal energetic self, dove right into the pool while Harbeck ran off to find Din. So I held on to a rope that we had tied around Gargantius until Harbeck and Din were able to make it back to join the party. Gargantius grabbed the orb that was caught in the bottom of the maelstrom, and it was remarkably difficult to pull him out, but we managed to do it. And then, while the party was all celebrating their successes, and Din was appreciating Harbeck's timely rescue, I went to interact with that orb that only I could see. And when I touched it, I was treated to a visit with my old captor, the jailer, the goaler that kept me through all those years in Terran, and treated me so harshly. It's an experience that I hoped never to have again. And that's where we are.
That's pretty much it. So, Brig has just started sobbing. Harbeck, you would have heard that, and you whispered something to Din.
It wasn't really to her.
Under your breath.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was to yourself,
yep.
But under your breath. There's also, you hear the sound of stone grinding against stone.
Ooh, does that have a direction?
There's only one door left.
Over in this direction.
I didn't see... I must not have been zoomed out enough to see the ping.
I didn't see a ping.
Ping it again!
This way.
Was it here?
Okay, there it is.
Brig.
No, that was my
Oh, that
ping.
was you.
I don't know if
I'm
that
looking
was
for a
the
teal
real-
ping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good time, Tabarin.
Over here.
Okay.
Oh,
You see that ping?
Brig,
oh, that's not a good sound.
Hugs are available if desired.
Do we have to? At least we're all together now. Brig, are you coming?
Yes.
Gargantius,
I'll
give him
kind of
some
like
space.
put my. Oh, I was gonna put my arm around Breek, but you told me to give him space, so I like back off a little bit and start moving forward.
As Gargantius comes past me, sometimes he's a bit claustrophobic, and a hug is often not the right gesture.
Oh, got it.
So
Tavern, the door in
Breek
front of you
kinda
is now
takes a
open.
second to. Breek takes a second
What is Breek doing?
to shake himself off, and still, like, you know that when it's just like tears leaking, because like so many emotions that he can't actually contain them all, but he gets them to the point that he's like functional again, but the tears just keep coming while he's moving.
Yep.
But yeah, kind of trailing behind the party, moving a little slowly, but following along.
The door's here, it's open.
Where are you?
Keep coming. I can see you. Just move forward.
Oh, there you are.
Well, I hope this is it. That we can get out.
One
If
way
it
to find
is,
out. Do-do-do.
I wish you all the best in your travels.
You're not coming with us?
Tavern, they are still our
What's the
travels.
point? What's the point, Harbeck?
Because you're in charge, Tabarin.
Tavern,
You're the only
Not
one of us
much
who
of a
makes any
leader if I
sense most
can't
of
do
the time.
anything other than talk.
Other than always be right. Just come on, Tavern.
listen.
I thought that was what you did.
This is meant to shake us. Don't let him win by giving in to being shooken. Shaken. Shake.
Shooken?
But we're not sleeping here. We all faced our fears.
Right.
Reluctantly.
I'm still without magic, without powers. I mean, what's the point?
Right, I don't have any magic powers.
Me either.
He never did.
Right.
Tavern, can you think of anything that you would fear more?
It's all already happened to him. He lost everything.
The rest of us have come out unscathed. We just got to keep moving forward. I'm sure they'll come back.
Yeah, but
We're not.
you
We're not
went
done
in
with
and
this
came
yet.
out in seconds. Mine
Right.
disappeared and has never come back.
Tavern,
It's been different for all of
Seconds.
us. Din was
Maybe
Din
that's
was
the
locked in
fear.
that room the whole time we've been down here. Gargantius
Wasn't a second.
got to go for a swim, and that it's not the same for everyone. They'll come back.
Tavern,
We've just got to keep moving.
we don't need your magic. We need you. Now stay with us. Let's go. This room is a dead end.
Except that it's not.
was
There's
somewhat-
not an icon in here, but I'll describe the room. The room is a sort of longish shape. You can see it there on the map. But at the end of the room, the dead end, as you called it rather aptly, there is a stone dais.
Uh-oh.
And the stone dais has five hemispherical receptacles in the surface of it, in the shape of a star. And in the center of that star is 5 torches carved into the stone.
Isn't that Tavern's tattoo?
That's your tattoo. Let's pick it up. Are there any
Part of
markings
it.
at the hemispherical depressions?
No kinds of markings.
Okay.
Is it on the wall or in the floor or wherever?
It's right where you're standing. You need to take a step back.
Gargantius will just instinctively take out the 2 orbs he has and put them in 2 of the 5 holes.
What were his colors? Blue and...
Mine are dark blue and white. Let me see.
Well, I can describe the orbs because you can all see them.
Yeah.
They became visible once, or you can describe your own orbs, but I'll describe them all. So, Brig is the first one to place his orb in the receptacle. It's a tiny clear sphere filled with viscous mud that seems to swirl of its own accord. Gargantius is also going to move up and place his 2. The first, a small spherical object filled with water as dark as the depths of the ocean, seems to pull the bearer in despite the impossibility of such a thing. And another tiny sphere containing what could only be described as a tiny blizzard. Harbeck, you place your sphere in the receptacle, a small piece of magma roiling below the surface of a clear orb that protects the user's hands. There's 1 receptacle missing.
So Gargantius placed 2, and Brig and Harbeck, and that makes 4. Din.
We need another one.
While you were alone, did you find a sphere?
No, I found my flute, and I found that if you shoot the boom bow in a really small room, it makes you deaf. And I found my scimitars.
Right. Okay.
There was a pillar. There was a pillar in that room. It had fallen over.
We should go back to the room.
So we're looking for something that not all of us can see.
There's a... Oh, well, there's this in my bag. But I don't remember finding it in the room.
What is it?
Din pulls out a clear sphere.
That's it.
Which
It's pretty.
almost...
It has clouds in it.
Yes, it does.
Air.
It's
Earth.
in the last.
Fire. Air. Water.
Dark and light.
With our powers combined, we are...
No, Tabarin is.
Captain Planet! Sorry.
Look, Brig was Earth, right? I'm fire.
Yeah.
No, you fired.
Where did that
Obviously
come
Din
from the
is
Temple
heart.
of Alisar?
So that leaves wind
It's
and
the
water for
fears.
Gargantius. And then Tabarin can be Captain Planet again.
I think we're thinking too hard about this. I think it's just representative of our
He's a
fears.
hero. I'm not particularly afraid of mud.
Right, so
I'll step aside so that Din can put
Din,
put your...
did,
the orbit.
did we get that back at Alisar?
What?
The sphere?
This one?
Yeah. Where did we get that?
I've never seen it before. I just looked in my bag to see where I put my flute, and this was in it.
Well, let's... Do we think there's a particular order these need to be placed, or just...
With no
It's not
signs
like
or
it's
symbols
gonna-
on the...
It's not like we have to relive all of the experiences.
I think just put it in. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
There are only 120 possible combinations. So we could just cycle through them until it works.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a good idea if they have to be in a specific spot, but if we can't see any reason for them to be in whichever order.
Then
The center sphere
Yeah.
with 5 torches, is there any color to it?
No, it's just a carving on the surface of the stone.
Just a carving?
Yep.
That's like your tattoo.
Part of it. Well, more than
anything
it.
happen when Din places her orb?
Din places are orb.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. so.
Nothing happens.
I'll put my right
just
hand in the center engraving of the torches.
Time seems to slow around you, and you experience a thing that I'm not going to disclose here on stream. It's a personal thing, and I will deal with that later. It's not something that you'll be discussing with the party immediately. Which is fine, so I can actually get you, because it's a bit of a long one, and very personal to Tabrin. So we'll deal with that one later, and you'll be able to share that with the party if you choose to. But you'll snap out of it. I'm going to write you a short message, which I should have pre-prepared, but I didn't, because I'm bad at my job. Tabrin. Anyway, after a brief moment of you experiencing what you experience, you pull your hand away from the altar, and you find that on the palm of your hand you have 5 tattoos. 5 torches.
That number changes occasionally, right? Or am I bad at memory?
I cast Mage Hand.
I thought he started out with 3.
Okay. The orbs in the altar are gone, by the way, but you cast Mage Hand and you feel the magic flowing through you once again.
I'm glad you didn't quit, Tabarin.
We can't see Mage Hand, right? So, like, we just see him pull his arm out.
Pretty much.
Look, we've come this far. There has to be a way out.
I could shoot it.
Right, enclosed areas. You learned this, right?
Right. Don't do that.
You hear the sound
Maybe
of
this is
stone
the
scraping
exit.
on stone.
Oh, my favourite sound when I'm trapped in a dungeon. Let's go see where it's moving.
Oh, that always sounds scary to me.
Well, it
Because
means
I
that
always
something's
remember that
changed.
time when they...
And if we were sealed in, then changed might be more sealed in, but it can't be more trapped than trapped. And it could possibly be not trapped anymore. So let's go look.
And it could possibly
now-
be monster.
It could be cave-in.
Right, at least a monster's something to do.
Because I'm bad at my job and I messed up the light mapping, I can't remove the section of light mapping that I need to remove without removing every little piece of light mapping on the map. Because I did a single contiguous thing because I'm bad. But if you head back to the room where the black ice was, which you will eventually do as you explore the entirety of the floor of the dungeon looking for whatever has changed, you'll find yourself... I'm going to just delete it. Bam. A set of
figure out where- how that
stairs rising up into a bright white light.
So while we're wandering around trying to find that, Brieg has a a whispered conversation with Binks about his experience.
Okay.
I think it was this room. Oh, I found everybody.
Yep.
I got lost.
I yelled at this wall
I saw something I should not have.
to see
did yell at
if
that
Din
wall.
was over there.
You did.
She wasn't.
She wasn't. But it was a nice thought.
So, this is either sweet, sweet freedom and open air, or this is the next step of being just terrified out of our minds. Shall we?
I hope it's just tricks.
I don't know where you
Trickster,
are.
just throw pies at our faces or something.
You should zoom all the way out and then watch my ping.
Okay.
Oh wow, Din got really lost.
Hey, that's where I lost your wolf inside the wall one time.
Super lost. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, I found
him. You did. Okay, so you're walking up the stairs. Is that what is
Harbeck
happening?
sure is.
Yes.
I think.
Sure.
If it's a trap, at
Okay.
least it's a trap that's well lit.
At least
walk
it's
up
a
the
trap that
stairs.
goes up.
And feel floaty is the only word that accurately describes how you feel as you walk up the stairs, getting lighter and lighter.
Like a
And-
water
Floaty.
floaty or an air floaty.
You find yourself standing in a huge cavernous throne room deep underground. The setting is very familiar. There doesn't appear to be any entrance that you have come from or left. There is nobody around. There is, however, a book lying on the ground
Read.
with a piece of parchment sitting on top of it.
I'll go pick it
What
up.
does
I'll
read
go-
have
I'll
to
go read
say?
it.
Don't be made of human skin.
Don't be made of human skin.
Can I read it? Is it in the language I can understand?
I guess that would be vellum, not parchment. We're probably fine.
It is parchment in, made from fibrous reeds from the local marsh. If that makes you feel better, it is not written on human skin.
You know, Din talks to
That's
grass.
what I feel
Maybe
bad.
reeds are people too.
Maybe reeds are people. So
Just because it
Gregentius has
talks
picked
to you
up the
doesn't
parchment.
mean it's a people, Rockman.
And the book, I get. Yeah, and all in one.
Okay, so you picked up the parchment and the book. Okay. The
Hey, you
parchment
already have a
reads. The parchment reads like this.
What do I care? I can't read.
I'm glad you found your way out.
That's
This
it.
book might explain a few things. I hope you learnt a little about the depths of what you're stepping into.
And I'll read that out loud.
On the other side of the parchment, you'll find something that might help you. Give it to the cheeky one. And, if you see Ben...
which one?
If you see John, tell him I said hi. And then it's
And,
signed in
Maker.
a very, very cursive, sort of over-the-top, exaggerated script. Grebe.
I'll flip it over and hand it over to Tabern.
Was I the cheeky one or was it Tabern? I can't remember in that interaction.
I just remember Tabern playing a huge prank on you, so I give it to Tabern.
I'll look at
And
the
then
book.
I was gonna crack open the book while you read the back, but okay.
Oh, okay. Wait, the back of the note?
The back of the note, yeah, it's for the cheeky one.
I'll read the back of the note.
You start to read the back of the note and then realize what you're reading. It's a spell It's written in an arcane script, one that you read fluently, and so therefore could cast this spell. You don't know what the spell does, but there is a winky face. Yes, that's right. Grieve uses emoticons. There is a winky face inked onto the parchment.
Well, a winky face is better than a poop emoji, so...
And so I cracked open the book, and I'm trying to, like, see if I can read it.
The book is written in an ancient script. Elven, you believe, given the sort of fluid cursive nature of the text. And I don't believe you read Elven.
Is this like Book's language? Like the
yes.
language Book is written in? So I recognize it, and I'm like, this book is like Book. At least it's written in the same language Book is written in. I realize I'm saying Book twice.
I may be able to decipher a bit
I hand it over to Brieg.
Unceremoniously. Brieg, you are fluent in Elven, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You
I
take
don't
the
know
book.
about super old Elven, but...
You take the book, and while it is old and difficult to read, after a few moments, you realize you're holding onto something that can only be described as invaluable. It is a history of the Old Kingdoms, a text written from before the Cataclysm.
Holy crap.
That's a
What is
3,500-year-old book.
This book is written I mean before time, before history. Sorry.
Does that mean?
This
Does that mean
is
we
a
can trade for a flying cat?
This is a pre-cataclysm book. It's nearly I don't know 4,000 years old.
Does that mean we could
Cameron,
trade
are
it
you
for a
older
flying
than
cat?
Slightly.
I don't know if we can trade it for a flying cat.
Wait. What if it has something about the maker inside of it?
I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that John is the maker.
That seems like...
Who's John?
Grieb calls the maker
On
John.
the
John
note, from the
is.
note.
Right.
And
So
I
does
also
that
have
mean... Oh.
I also have a sneaking suspicion, though certainly an unconfirmed and dangerous one, that spell will take us to the Maker. But, I could be terribly wrong, and it could be an absolutely terrible idea to cast whatever
I could
that is.
What
I
if
could
we
should all
certainly
touch-
attempt to decipher if this is some sort of...
We should all touch Tabarin.
If you'd like.
Okay.
What if it's a spell that brings us back to the place that we just went to?
I'm just gonna hold on to a piece of Tabarin's shirt.
Or
Just in case.
Just in
just
case.
be,
He cast a spell, and I want to go.
who knows what it
I
is.
hope it
but
doesn't take us back.
It's my guess.
Cameron, you can roll an Arcana check to see if you can decipher
This is-
the script on the scroll. It'll take some time,
Right.
which is why you couldn't instantly recognize. You could tell it was a spell. You couldn't tell what it is without actually spending some time deciphering it.
So while he's doing that, I'm gonna sit down, cross-legged on the floor, and very carefully flip through this book. Is there an index or table of contents or something?
Yeah, there's a table of contents. It's a big book, and it has entire chapters on the ancient elven kingdom of Thakon, and it even mentions the rise to power of the immortal king, the undying king. It has entire passages on the Dwarven realms and their fall from glory and slavehood during the period before the Cataclysm. It includes texts on the human kingdoms as well, including there's an entire chapter on the Battle of the name of the town that I forgot because I don't have my notes up. Hang on.
Wait. The
Vesson.
bridge by Kanesh. Yeah, the name.
Yes.
Okay. So while I'm very interested in all of those things and would like to, I will probably spend all of my free time reading this book for a long time. I'm most interested now in any mention of the deities that we don't hear much about anymore because, they're all dead and stuff.
There is a section on the Pantheon. There's not a great deal about the religious faiths. It goes into detail of the Pantheon of the old gods and who the old gods were, including names and descriptors for each of them, and the domains that they served. There's, limited information about the various churches, and like a little bit of information about conflict and tension between different, like diametrically opposed deities, but there's not like in-depth information about specific
it's not
priesthoods or
a
anything.
religious book, it's a history, but I figured there might be mention. So I am certainly, as long as we are waiting here for Tabarin to figure out what that scroll is, I'm going to be reading up about Sarath and company, as well as Baravar and company.
Okay.
Tabarin, how long do you think you'll be?
I don't know. We'll certainly need to
Right, just
take a
ballpark it.
hour or
like
so and
minutes,
and figure out
hours,
what this
days.
let's start with an hour and see where I get, and I'll have a better idea.
Right, an hour. Din, are you hungry?
Yes.
Let's go see if any of the food in this town was real.
Okay.
All right.
And before it's
Dylan
all
Harbeck,
wax.
We did
You
buy
wander
real
through the
things
town.
from the market, right?
You wander around the town and don't have much luck. You wander back into the palace and think that maybe some of the food in the palace was real, because Grebe was real, even if nobody else was.
Yeah, but
and you
kitchen.
do find a storehouse, and in the storehouse you find all manner of delicious goodies, various
Is there
smoked
butter?
meats. Yes, there is bacon, various trail rations, and definitely enough food to subsist on down here for quite some time if you chose to. But there's plenty of stuff that you could also pack and travel with.
Okay.
Tavern.
Finally free of trail rations. Yes.
Yes.
Tabern, after some deliberation and looking over the scroll, it is a group teleport spell of some descript. It has a set destination. You can't work out what that destination is. It's noted in some strange form that you don't recognize. But it is definitely a teleportation scroll.
It's the GPS coordinates.
Yeah, longitude and latitude.
Brig, I think you're right. This will take us to John, to the Maker.
I hope it takes us to John and not to Grebe.
Does
I
that mean
think-
Grebe learned from the Maker how to use his powers?
Yes. And I think
Or he's
Grebe, despite his tactics, wants us to succeed.
Or will think
Not
that
sure
it's
it'd be, but-
hilarious.
Before we go anywhere, I find that I magically travel best on a full stomach, and perhaps you'd like to help us get some of this food that we found put into some of our stomachs.
Sure.
I
Need a hand in
I
the
could
kitchen?
use some food.
So a rest then. That's what we're aiming for.
At least a short.
Short
But
rest.
first, Gargantius will walk up to the silver plate that was left on the floor after his encounter with Garib, pick it up and snap it in half with his knee, or at least attempt to.
Okay, you just need a bunch of metal. It
Yeah.
hurt.
Ow.
It wasn't very successful.
Did that plate bother you?
I was really looking forward to this place, and it's a huge. I hate this place now. Hate the idea of it. Let's just eat and get the hell out of here.
You know, about Greeb's motives, I'm not sure that he cares about our success or failure. It's just one more bit to amuse him.
Yeah, I agree. Ow.
Din has developed
Yes.
this new habit of while she's walking around, her hand is now in Arian's fur, holding on. Where she used to just walk next to him, not a big deal. Now she's touching him. Or if she's next to Harbeck, she'll just slide her hand into his hand, or whoever happens to be closest. She'll just, like, grab the tail of their shirt, or hold their hand, or just touch a person.
Brieg, you have had a little bit of time to read the book. What would be the first subject that you started to peruse?
So after reading a little bit about the gods, I would go back to Fakon and the Immortal King dude, especially if in that section there are any mentions of sorry, my notes. If there are any mentions of Terran in the section on Thakon and why it exists.
All right, I can give you some information in regards to that. So, according to the text, the Immortal King rose to power in the Kingdom of the Elves about 150 years before the Cataclysm. He was a general in, and this is before the Elves sort of became introverted and stuck to their own country. This is back when they used to war regularly. He was a general that used to fight on the war front against the dwarves from the Kingdom of Istaroth, Harbeck's people. In fact, many of Harbeck's people used to be slaves to the elves before the Cataclysm. A lot of that history is lost. There's probably legends of the dwarven uprisings that Harbeck has heard, but nothing concrete, no history like this book is apparently telling. The Immortal King apparently came back from a crusade in Corellon, about, like I said, 150 years before the Cataclysm. And when he returned home, the existing king of the elves took ill with a mysterious ailment that none of the elven healers could heal, and they were praised as the greatest healers in the land. Even magical healing was to no avail. The beseeching of the gods, nothing worked. And eventually that king passed. And the Immortal King, and that is all he is called in the book, was elected the new king, as is the custom amongst the elves. They pick from their brightest and strongest to lead them. And he took power. He was a fair and just king. He stopped the Crusades and fighting against the dwarves of the Kingdom of Istaroth. He abolished slavery and withdrew the elven armies. And not much is said of the elves beyond that point. Some say that they were set to a great work, something internally, or to the north where no other races went. But from that point onwards, the elves stayed in Thacon. And the Immortal King ruled. As far as Terran is concerned, Terran was created. It was a young city at the time, brought about by the Mad King, or the Immortal King. It was created by the Immortal King to send people who. The wording in the book is kind of vague, but you get the sense that it was the place that the king sent people that he didn't want to deal with. People who were a nuisance or a threat. Often under false pretenses of madness. And that's about all the information you'll get there.
So Terran is Siberia.
It's
Probably
I
not
guess,
as cold.
Okay.
Yeah, not as cold.
Yeah.
Not as cold. Anyway, you guys are going to have a long rest. Are we going to be posting watches? What's the plan?
Were we going to have a long rest or just a lunch and then cast a spell? I don't know if we had decided how long we were going to spend.
Yeah, how long
Okay.
were we in the dungeon? That was like a couple hours, right? Not like all day.
Yeah, no, it was only a couple of hours. And you
Yeah, I
did
think we're just
wake
having-
up feeling rested.
Yeah, I think we're just having a short rest at lunch.
Okay. So you have a short rest and get all of the benefits of a short rest. You have a delicious lunch.
While we're eating, Harbeck, with his mouth stuffed with things, mumbles, "Well, I realised, but I think my biggest fear might be skipping breakfast."
Oh, Harbeck.
I still think it's water for me. And probably now boats.
Good old Gregitius. Always good for a whoosh.
Okay. So, you've had a delicious lunch. You've stocked up on food. You have this new book of history and a scroll. What's the plan?
The plan is, here, hold my beer. Should we cast this spell?
This is a great beer.
Was that the
Because
question?
it's so interpretable.
I know.
Should we cast this spell? You get a weal and woe result.
Every time
You're
we'll
getting that.
I need to work on this recipe, I think.
Yeah, because I died I almost died last time.
I think you have only yourself to blame. And maybe Harbeck.
Right, well, the last few times
let's
the wheel's
just
been
blame
worth
the
the
beer.
wall. So I guess I'm forecasting the spell.
Alright. Wait, Harvick, what about the spider or whatever that you got? Was that real?
Yeah, still have that. I assume.
Do you want to do something with it yet?
I'll hold on to it for a while. Let's see where we end up after we cast the spell.
Okay.
Perhaps I won't need to send a
Greek,
message over a
what-
long distance
what were you
because I'll
gonna
be in
say?
someone's living room. You never know.
Oh, I
think
just
Heich
figured
is
we
going
might
to-
not be in the same plane.
I was just going to mention that if we're correct in our assumption that Grebe is the trickster, it seems likely that after all the jokes and punishment we just went through, something nice would be a nice balance to that.
Why do you think he cares about balance?
Well,
He cares about it.
I think he's unlikely. I think he's unlikely to be consistently cruel. That doesn't seem like
Would it also be in
like his
his
motivation.
amusement to see us learn from the Maker to see how it plays out against the Immortal King or against the others? Is it
That's
also
entirely
the woe?
It strikes.
A one-sided fight isn't very fun to watch.
Right, and I think that
full
somebody that
disclosure.
enjoys the chaos and tricks and pranks and whatnot is a fan of life, you know, and the forces that we're fighting against are trying to just extinguish it, which kind of makes Grebe on our team, though perhaps less directly as some other folks.
I'm fully expecting to teleport into a room where Grebe farted in and we can't get out.
Yeah, or it could be that.
Yeah.
Right, so eat lunch first so you can vomit on a full stomach. It's much more comfortable.
Anyway, you know, you only live once. Let's cast a spell.
Any bets on where we end up?
Tavern always a con.
You have my bet.
I'm going to take the optimistic view and say this is going to take us to John, and that John will be the Maker. That's
No.
got
Where is
fingers
John?
crossed. Oh,
My
where?
guess is the monastery at Elysis? Is that what it is?
That seems positive.
Emphasis, yeah.
Elysis.
Positive.
Alright. I
Perhaps
will...
the bridge at the V place. That's come up a few times. Seems like it might be an important location.
My
can
guess
take that wager.
is closer to where we're going instead of further away. I guess that's more of a hope than a guess. Maybe on the far side of the big body of water we were planning on hiring a boat to cross. Yeah, let's go with that.
I'll begin to cast the spell and ask everyone to be patient as this will take a moment.
Tabern
I'm still holding on to the back of your
makes
coat.
a bunch of gestures and says a lot of words, and it takes about a minute to finish the casting of the spell, but it was laid out nice and easy for him and there's no checks involved. You feel a tugging behind your navel, like somebody's stuck a fishhook in your stomach and is dragging you along, although not uncomfortable, just strange, because there's no pain. And you feel yourself being pulled through space and time. And I'm going to move your token. I have got you on the right map, right? No, I haven't.
Does the tugging feel wibbly wobbly?
It does feel a little wibbly wobbly.
Uh-oh.
Token in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, but that's not where I'm
Tavern is
leaving you. I
totally
was
the
just-
doctor, you guys.
I was just putting that token there so I could move you to the appropriate location because I needed to move the map. So,
I get momentarily terrified.
you find yourself in a small clearing surrounded by mushrooms in a forest. Brig, you recognize this place. You've been here once before. You fled down this river when you escaped Terran once before.
We're getting close to Terran. We could probably be there in a day if we moved quickly.
What did I win, Tavern? What did I win? What did I win?
What did you
Oh,
win?
man.
I was right. We're on the far
I've
side
got
of the water.
a-
We were going to cross on a boat. I don't have to go on a boat.
Uh,
This is possibly the best day I've had in months.
I reach in my bag and I pull out a vial, and it's got the 4.5-inch maggoty thing in it, and I says, "You can have this back."
I ought to be more careful about specifying the bets that. Thank you. That's very nice. I want that for sure in my spine again.
I'll reach into my bag.
If
And
you don't
I'll
want
call
it,
you.
I can hold it for a while.
Why did you keep this? Is it just a souvenir so you could remember that time I had wiggles up in my ribcage?
You named it.
calling it Wiggles? You named it Wiggles.
Gargantia
I didn't mean to
Oh,
name it
Wiggles.
Wiggles.
Coin
I meant that the
and
sensation
call
was
it-
Wiggles, but that's okay. It can be named Wiggles.
It now has a
It is
specification as Wiggles.
Oh man.
Maybe Wiggles was supposed to be my friend. No, Mash. Mash, I love you. You're my friend, not Wiggles.
Wiggles gives me the willies.
Alright, you win the bets. You win the bet. Here, take your money.
Do you remember that time that I had Arcane Trickster surgery? You?
Are we trying to go
Yeah.
more fight situation?
You already had your pet. You had him removed.
Well, he's dead now, isn't he? I mean, he's not
Tavern's
alive
been
in the
keeping him
vial,
safe for you.
right? I mean, at least Mash is still alive. I guess.
You're alive, Rob.
Oh, right. Okay. Shut up, Babs. Shush. Oh dear. Okay. So the party finds itself just south of Terran. An unexpected location, and certainly not where they expected to end up right now. Find out what they decide to do next time on the Legends of Valcia. If you're watching on YouTube, the next lot of episodes should be up in about a week or two, depending on when we record next. If you're watching on Twitch, the next live stream will be in a week or two, but we'll talk to you in just a minute. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye, YouTube.
I
Bye, YouTube.